One signal. That was all it took to blind the modern world. "2031 began like any other ordinary morning. People were going to work, airplanes were following their routes, cargo ships were crossing the oceans, and the world seemed completely normal. Then something happened. First, the maps on people's phones froze. Then air traffic control towers began losing connection. Within minutes, hundreds of ships were left without navigation, and nobody understood why. Because without realizing it, humanity had become dependent on a single invisible system: GPS. This American satellite network was no longer used only for navigation. Banks, internet servers, electrical grids, stock exchanges, military systems, even modern agriculture were all connected to the same signal. And on that day, the signal went silent. The world's most advanced systems and all of its magnificent cities suddenly became blind. When GPS was first created, its only purpose was military navigation. The United States military wanted to guide missiles, coordinate naval fleets, and establish absolute dominance on the battlefield. And without question, GPS allowed them to achieve every one of those goals. But over time, this technology quietly evolved into the foundation of modern civilization itself. Today, the modern world does not run only on the internet. It runs on synchronized time. And at the center of that synchronization is GPS. Because GPS does not only provide location, it also provides something even more important: perfect timing, microsecond precision. Banks synchronize financial transfers through it. Electrical grids balance the flow of energy through it. Data centers manage billions of operations through it. Cell towers coordinate global communication through it. And most people have absolutely no idea any of this exists. But if GPS disappeared for only a single day, modern civilization could collapse into medieval chaos. Because humanity would not simply lose directions anymore. It would lose time itself. "72 hours later, people believed it was only a temporary malfunction and that the system would soon be repaired. But as time passed, the fragility of the modern world began to reveal itself. Hundreds of cargo ships were left waiting at ports, unable to depart. Flights started getting canceled one after another. Autonomous logistics systems came to a complete halt. And then, the banks began to fail. First came the delays. Then, transactions stopped entirely. ATMs were still operating, but behind the scenes, the timing synchronization was collapsing. Because financial systems live in milliseconds. Even the smallest disruption in timing can corrupt transactions worth billions of dollars. Within 48 hours, global stock markets shut down. The financial system was on the verge of collapse. Panic spread across major cities. Because for the first time, humanity realized that the modern world had been built upon a single invisible signal. And after 72 hours, some governments declared states of emergency. Without GPS, the world was no longer the same world. Perhaps the most terrifying truth is this: the modern world is not as strong as it appears. Because the things holding civilization together are usually invisible. A signal, a timing code, a satellite network, and humanity has become completely dependent on them in every possible way. The day GPS goes silent, the world will not only lose its direction, it will also realize how fragile our idea of security truly is. Perhaps the wars of the future will no longer begin with bombs falling over cities. They will begin by silencing signals. And something as simple as that could be enough to start the collapse of entire civilizations. This brings us to the end of the very first video on our channel. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next transmission. Goodbye.